They laughed when I was fired. I remember the smirks, the office chairs squeaking as people leaned back to watch. HR slid the paper across the table. My manager stared at his phone, and my former team, tried to hide their grins. But here's the kicker. 12 months later to the day, I walked back into that same conference room, pulled out the head chair, and everyone stood up, not out of respect, but out of shock. I wasn't there for an interview. I was there to run the meeting as their new boss. You want to know how? Buckle up. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a map. But before we dive right in, be sure to let us know where you are watching from the comments. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more intriguing and enticing episodes like this. A year earlier, I was a junior strategy lead at a mid-sized marketing agency. Bright walls, glass doors, and a coffee machine that hissed like it had secrets. I love the puzzles. But success can sound like an insult in rooms that prize safety over results. I kept pitching ideas. Clients liked me, which made my manager, Grant, like me less. Grant was the kind of man who called you champ and then forwarded your idea to himself. We were preparing for Q4 pitches. The client, Helios Apparel, wanted a bold rebrand. I stayed late 3 weeks in a row, building a campaign around worker stories. Give the brand a human spine. Grant told me to hold my horses. He had a safer plan. Influencers plus a seasonal discount. I should have seen the backstab coming when he asked for my deck just to check the numbers. On pitch day, Grant opened with exactly what I wrote. My research, my language, my slides. He swapped the title and put his name on the cover. The client CMO leaned forward, hungry. The pitch landed. They greenlit a pilot on the spot. 2 days later, I got an HR invite. Quick chat. The quick chat was a termination meeting. We're restructuring. HR said, there have been concerns about your collaboration style. HR said, and then, today will be your last day. I walked out carrying a cardboard box and my dignity, and only when those felt light. Behind me, I heard a laugh. Not loud, casual. People who'd asked me for help the week before wouldn't meet my eye. Grant clapped my shoulder and said, no hard feelings, champ. The elevator doors closed. My reflection looked like someone else's ending. The first month was noise, bills, rejection emails, the white static of doubt. I sent out 30 applications. 29, we decided to move forward. 1, we'll keep your resume on file. I started walking long, aimless walks that felt like trying to outpace a storm. The day I stopped refreshing my inbox, opportunity knocked somewhere else. I posted a breakdown of the Helios concept, stripped of names, on my blog, How Make a Brand Feel Human in 6 Steps. It wasn't a tantrum. It was a blueprint. If they were going to keep my job, I'd at least keep the lesson. 3 days later, an email found me. We loved your article. Could we jump on a call? It was a small outdoor gear company, Parallax. They didn't have agency money, but they had a brave CEO and a problem that looked like a dare. I said yes. Parallax became client number 1. I charged less than I should have and worked more than I had to. I read their customer service inbox, their returns, their late-night comments. I built a story-first campaign using real hiker diaries. Sales ticked up, then up again. They sent me a photo of their warehouse team clapping on a Friday. I taped it to my wall. The second client didn't come from a cold email. It came from my old life. Helios, the brand Grant pitched, launched a campaign. It looked familiar but thinner, like someone photocopied a painting. The internet is not kind to thin. A week after the launch, I got a DM from someone on the Helios team. Your article, did you write the original concept for us? I didn't answer the way my anger wanted to. I offered to audit their rollout for free. They accepted. My audit was surgical. Timing off, creators mismatched, no story spine. I proposed a fix. Center real factory voices. Pair each drop with a micro-charity. Build a docuseries around craftsmanship. The CMO called me. Can you run this? She asked. As an external consultant? My mouth said yes before my pride could argue. Helios's numbers stabilized. Then they grew. Someone sent my deck to someone else. By month 5, I had 4 clients and a new problem, Capacity. I hired Mia, a producer with a spine of sunlight, and Dre, a designer who could make a color palette feel like a melody. We called the three of us North Star. The universe loves a circle, and mine was about to close. One Friday night, at 11:47 p.m., I got an email from the agency that fired me. Subject: consulting inquiry. Body: temporary surge in deliverables. Open to discussing capacity support. Translation: we're drowning. I slept on it. Saturday, I wrote back. Happy to discuss. Monday, 9 a.m. your office. Reply: see you then. The lobby smelled the same. Eucalyptus and copy paper. The receptionist's smile swallowed a flinch. I waited by the grass wall with the neon slogan that said, "Make something people love." I had. That was a problem. Grant walked in late. "Champ," he said, and the word broke like thin ice. "Heard you're doing freelance stuff." I shook his hand and let the silence say the rest. In the conference room, the partners looked tired. They danced around the truth for 5 minutes before one. Asha, operations lead, cut the music. "We've lost 3 accounts in 2 months," she said. "Helios is shaky. We have staff idle. We need help." I smiled like a person who finally found the leverage he'd been building in the dark. I laid out a plan: triage roster, creative sprints, client listening sessions, a reorg of how ideas move through the building, a full resuscitation, expensive, temporary, surgical. "We'd like you to lead it," Asha said. Externally, of course. I could feel Grant's eyes trying to puncture my skin. "We'll need confirmed fees," he added. "Budget constraints." I stood. "Before we talk money," I said, "we need to talk structure." What I didn't know was that the board had already met. HR restructuring had finally turned its mouth on management. The partners asked me to step into the hallway while they aligned internally. I stared at framed awards on the wall. Some were for campaigns I had bled into. 10 minutes later, "We have a different proposal," Asha said. "We're moving forward with leadership changes. We'd like you to head the strategy group." I don't remember sitting down, but I remember Grant's face folding into itself. "Head of strategy," I repeated. "As an employee?" "As a leader," Asha said, "with authority to rebuild." The room got quiet. Grant cleared his throat. "Isn't that premature?" Asha didn't look at him. I asked for a day. They gave me until end of business. I went home, paced a canyon in my carpet, and wrote a list of reasons to say no. Top 3, I had a team now. I had clients. I had a spine that didn't bend when someone said, "Champ." The reason to say yes was the same reason they'd said yes to me. The work needed a North Star. I said yes with conditions. Autonomy. I would hire and fire within my purview. Transparency. No more secret edits. No more ideas walking away wearing someone else's shoes. Protection. Mia and Dre came with me as embedded contractors with fair rates and credit. Ownership. When we won, the names of the people who built the win would live on the award. They signed, and the pen felt heavier than it should have. The announcement went out at 9 a.m. Grant booked a personal day. The Slack pings were fireworks. I walked into Monday, all hands. The room tried to arrange its face. Some looked relieved, some afraid. A few wondered where to hide the knives. "I'm not here to settle scores," I said. "I'm here to build a place where good work doesn't need armor." Shoulders dropped. We started simple. 3 projects, 3 small wins. Win 1. We rebuilt the Helios creator roster by asking the seamstresses who they followed. Win 2. We turned an auto brand's product launch into a community road trip. Customers handed each other the keys on camera and told their own stories. Win 3. We cut 6 weekly meetings and replaced them with 2 hours of uninterrupted make time. The first person to thank me was a receptionist. The second was Helios' CMO. The third was a junior designer who'd been thinking of quitting. Grant returned with a grin. That didn't fit. He scheduled a one-on-one. "No hard feelings," he said. "Water under the bridge." He wanted to align on territory. I told him there wasn't any. There were only problems and the people brave enough to solve them. He pushed the presentation, the kind that looked finished and safe and dead. "We've always done it this way," he said. I slid it back. "That's why we're not doing it anymore." Later that week, he CC'd himself onto one of Mia's threads and reframed her idea. I pulled him aside. "We credit the builder," I said. "That's not negotiable." He rolled his eyes. "You've changed." "No," I said. "Now it matters." On Friday, HR asked me for a note documenting our conversation. I didn't want a revenge story that ended with a single villain getting fired. I wanted a system that made Defin profitable and encouraged routine. We built a public idea registry. Every deck logged with authors. The presenter credits contributors on slide 2, out loud. We added demo days where junior staff pitched moonshots to leadership. One afternoon, I caught 2 analysts whispering near the kitchen. They straightened when they saw me. We were saying how weird it is, one mumbled, to hear our names in meetings. I said, "Get used to it." The end didn't come with fireworks. It came with a calendar invite. HR looped me in. Follow up on conduct. The documentation was long. It wasn't vindictive. It was math. Grant had built a career on eating the seed corn, and the harvest failed. He was let go with a severance package. I didn't go to his farewell drinks. I took Mia and Dre to dinner and ordered dessert first. Revenge that ends with one person's exit is a snack. Justice that rewires a place is a meal. 6 months into the rebuild, Helios won an industry award. Not for a stunt, but for a series that paid artisans on screen and off. At the party, the host read the credits. Producer, writers, editors. There were so many names of music almost ran out. The next morning, resumes poured in. Good people want to work where good work can breathe. Now we're back in that conference room, the one from the cold open. The wall still shouts, "Make something people love." The difference is we do. I open the meeting with a slide that just says, "Thank you." I tell them what I wish someone had told me when I was carrying that box to the elevator. Your best work will outlive your worst day. Stay long enough to meet it. A hand goes up in the back. It's the junior designer, the one who almost quit. "I used to think ideas were tokens we traded for approval," she says. "Now it feels like we're building something we actually want to live in." I nod. The room is quiet in the way rooms get when the air finally belongs to people breathing it. People ask if I came back for revenge. I didn't. I came back for the kid in me, who believed rooms could be brave. I came back to turn a workplace into a workshop. The laughter that chased me to the elevator taught me how to walk without looking for permission. It taught me that being fired isn't the end of a career. It's the end of pretending your value is a gift someone else can take away. Here's the map, if you need it. When they copy your idea, make another. Ideas aren't a lake, they're a river. When they say fit in, ask if they mean shrink. If they do, grow louder. When you leave, leave with a lesson. Build a place that makes the lesson unnecessary. And if you ever get the chance to walk back through the door they close on you, don't walk in a gloat, walk in a build. At the end of the meeting, someone asks if I want the corner office. I tell them I want the busy one, near the production pods, close enough to hear ideas creak into life. On my way there, I pass the glass wall and catch my reflection. For a second, I see myself the day I left. Small, boxed, apologizing with my posture. Then the reflection shifts, and it's just me now, tired, grateful, unafraid. They laughed when I was fired. Now they laugh during brainstorms. That's the only revenge I ever wanted.